Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for another office hours training. I'm Crystal L. Gunn, your financial strategist and small business advisor, and your licensed life insurance agent. So part of my job as a strategist, be it on the business side or the personal side, is to help you create a solid financial relationship or help you redefine your personal financial relationship so that it works for you. And I also help you on the business side create a strong business base or business foundation on which you can grow, right? I also help you to have some aha moments, some self-discovery moments, and helping you see what no longer serves you so that you can release all of that madness and soar. All of that helps with the breakthroughs. That's where you start to shift. That is where the magic happens, be it in your personal finances or your overall business. Now, for the past couple of weeks, I've been talking about some bad money and finance habits observed in us. And when I say us, I mean African Americans or Black folk, right? And when we think about healing and redefining our financial relationships, we got to peel back all of those layers in order to break those generational curses. You hear everybody talking about breaking generational curse and passing down generational wealth. So in order to break those curses, we have to peel back the layers and heal from that so that we can also build new strategies for the generations that follow. So go back and watch those past episodes. But this week, I want to finish with or continue to touch on the importance of life insurance and overcoming historical and socio-economic barriers. And just to warn you, for all of August, I'm going to be talking about life insurance because we are missing the boat on it, and it's driving me insane. But we're missing the boat on it. We're missing, we're missing the boat, and that's not what today is about. So, but all month of August, I will be talking about life insurance. So remember, everybody has a personal financial relationship. It wasn't defined by you, doesn't work doesn't work in your favor or on your behalf. And so your financial relationship was defined by what you inherited generationally, not talking about assets, by what you saw growing up, what you were taught, what you weren't taught, what you were told and what you overheard, right? And whatever else happened in life, whatever traumas, someone let you down, trying to be a cool kid and spending all your money on clothes. And so you're still doing that today. What your friends, your family, and all of that, what they do, what they have, what they think about defines them. And so then you wind up defining yourself that same kind of way, or feeling like, oh, I got to buy this, I got to wear this, I have to do this, I have to look this certain way in order to fit in. Social media, TV commercials, movies, music, all of the things working, again, trauma, stress, what's happening on your job, all of those things helping to define your personal financial relationship, and it doesn't work for you. So one of my biggest pushes, my biggest thing is helping people discover why they operate the way that they do so that they can heal from that and change so that they ultimately can redefine their personal financial relationship so that it works in their favor. Let me turn this phone off. Okay, so life insurance is a critical component, right? And when we talk about, you hear people talk about legacy, right? And everyone's leaving a legacy. The question becomes, what type of legacy do you want to leave for the generations that follow? And again, life insurance can be a critical component of that. And it is definitely a critical component for financial planning. Yet, many Black folks or many African Americans, many, not all, but far too many, lack adequate coverage, right? And where you see the numbers picked up and people getting coverage, especially after George Floyd and COVID, we still don't have adequate coverage or don't realize all of the ways in which we can use life insurance. So, healing our personal financial relationship is critical to our financial success. But in order to heal and redefine it, we have to be aware of why we operate the way that we operate. Most people don't know why we operate. And this isn't just isolated in the African American community. Most people don't know when it comes to their finances why they operate the way that they do. And yesterday I talked about the historical context, economic disenfranchisement and discrimination. And so I kind of today want to get into the socioeconomic challenges, income disparity, and financial priorities. Now, if we look at income disparity, African Americans typically earn less than their white counterparts for the same position, right? The wage gap is unbelievable. It's literally staggering. And so this helps to result in the lower disposable income and reduced ability to afford life insurance premiums, right? And it's crazy because the income gap appears to be getting wider, right? And so that income and that wage gap and higher rates of unemployment contribute to financial instability, making it challenging to prioritize life insurance over pressing financial needs. Now, it also makes it challenging to prioritize life insurance over the wants, right? Because we've been conditioned to want all the things. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have the things, right? But when you have more things, when you have more gym shoes, when you have more purses, when you have more boots, more shoes, then you do adequate life insurance, that's a problem, right? So we can talk about the wage gap and the income gap, right? But what I've seen and know to be true is people who make really good money, they still have inadequate life insurance. So it's not just those that earn less money. It really winds up being a mindset and an understanding in the power of life insurance, right? So my goal is to get you to understand the power that lies in it and to change the way that you think about it, get you to understand why we don't have it, why we have inadequate coverage, why we don't realize and understand that it's necessary, and then get you to understand the power in it as we talk about breaking generational curses, as we talk about passing down generational wealth, right? So we can also look at high level living expenses and debt. So many African Americans, many Black folks face high living expenses and significant debt burdens, further limiting their ability to invest in life insurance. We can go down a whole rabbit hole about that whole debt burden. I talked about the debt burden last week, right? And again, we've been conditioned to buy all of these things. And if we don't have the money, we're going to put the things on the credit cards. And then we're paying 3, 4, 5, and 6 times what the original cost of the thing was, because now we're paying 20 to 30% interest on that debt that they're carrying on, that you're carrying on those credit cards. So that further limits the ability to invest in life insurance, right? So when your financial resources are stretched thin, like for whatever reason that they're stretched thin, right? System imposed or self-imposed, because some of it is also self-imposed. Life insurance is often deprioritized in favor of immediate necessities such as housing, food, and healthcare, or the wants that we need to have. I need to look a certain way. I need to drive a certain car. I need to buy all of these clothes. So we don't prioritize life insurance. It's not important or urgent enough for us to do it. We find money to spend on all of the other things, yet we still don't have any or have adequate coverage, right? And I believe this can be traced back to the lack of understanding of the power of it and the understanding as to why you operate the way that you operate in the first place, right? So there's also a lack of passionate agents, or a lack access to, or a lack or a perceived lack of passionate and knowledgeable agents in our community. Our mistrust in our own community is huge. That goes back to when I talk about healing your financial relationship and why we operate the way that we operate. We've been conditioned to mistrust one another, right? We just have, and we can go back to the historical context. And so we still do it so many times. We don't support it. There shouldn't have to be a push to support Black businesses, right? By Black folk. But yet we have to push because, again, we need to heal our personal financial relationships and the things that are keeping us from naturally gravitating towards people that look like us and supporting our own business. Every other community does it. We just have a problem, but we understand that it is something that has been passed down. It is something that has been created intentionally in our community, and it's a horrible thing. So we have to be intentional in seeking individuals we can trust and then referring them to others. We have to change the narrative. It all starts with the individual. And when you find a good agent, guess what? If you have a good agent, and let's say you have young kids, and so you've gotten policies with for your young kids, but let's say you have a good agent and then you have grown kids that are not in your home anymore. They should be getting those policies through that same agency, right? We have to start saying and passing things down like, oh, okay, I'm working with XYZ agency over here. That goes into our family book, and all of the generations are working with XYZ agency as long as XYZ agency is around and kicking, right? Building those relationships and those bonds that carry out through the generations. That's another way that we start to build generational wealth. We as a people are missing out on an industry that could help to stop that 2053 prediction of Blacks having zero wealth. We're missing out on the benefits of having life insurance, and we're missing out on the benefits of having a career in life insurance as well. The year 2053 is only 29 years away. We cannot wait until 2050 to start working on our finances to change the 2053 prediction of Blacks having zero wealth. Whew, child, we got to start today. We talk about breaking generational curses. If the curse is going to stop with you, then the new systems of success must start with you. You have to get the tools in order to create those new systems of success. Generational wealth is going to be passed down to you, right? Then how to build it, how to keep it has to start with you. And so you have to get the tools in order to create those new systems of success. So my favorite thing today is the same thing that was yesterday, life insurance, right? That is it. That is my favorite thing for today. And, there's a process in everything that it is that we do, and it is a journey. You cannot repair and heal and redefine your personal financial relationship overnight. It's a process. It's a journey. And we all know the destination is great, but the journey is where the magic happens. The journey is what creates a better us. The journey winds up being what really and truly defines us and builds us. So get with this journey of changing your own personal financial life, but then being able to leave a legacy that you want for the generations that follow you, that just wind up being, super fulfilling and wealthy, right? So what are the next steps? Complete the life insurance calculator to see how much coverage you should have. The link is in the bio, right? It takes you to Bankrate. And it's a few questions out, 3 or 4 questions that it asks you, and then it tells you how much life insurance you should have. And I'm a firm believer, you'll hear me say over and over again, if you only have life insurance through your job, that doesn't count. I look at that as the and one. That's the extra point when you're playing basketball, after the foul, or the field goal, you know what I mean? After you made a touchdown, it's good, but that you can't rely on that, because if you leave that job, so many people don't take their life insurance policies with them. And it may become higher because you're no longer part of the group. So there's all of these things that you have to look at. But also, even if you could take it with you, what if the company just shuts down? So now there is no more, they don't have that group policy anymore. It's just so much that goes into that. But most people don't even think about taking that life insurance policy when they leave. So now you've left, and even if you find a job immediately, it's still a 90-day process in most cases before you can even get benefits, including that life insurance. So now you don't have anything. God forbid if something happens to you fatal in those 90 days. Now, again, what's going to happen to your family? So I always look at the life insurance that you have through work. It's better than having nothing. But that should not be your only policy. So schedule a free consultation with me and let's discuss the options. Doesn't matter where you are in the US. Let's just talk about it and get you some coverage. And then when you see where you are right now, even if you have insurance outside of work, do the life insurance calculator to see how much coverage you should have, and where there are gaps, let's fill the gaps in coverage. And then if your children aren't insured, let's get your children some policies, because that's one of the ways that we get to be able to hand down wealth and build, investment inside or build cash value inside of that life insurance policy. I was talking to someone yesterday and I said, there's nowhere else that you can. Someone may argue and say, well, you can invest this much in stocks and all of that. But I'm talking about just putting money somewhere and letting it sit as in a bank account. Where else can you put money? $100 to $150 a month in, and when that kid becomes 20 or 30, they have $50,000, $60,000, or when they become 40, they have, $100,000 or $200,000 sitting there. Again, all depending upon what type of policy, how much you're putting in it, et cetera. But you can't do that with a simple bank account, right? So understanding that and getting those gaps filled is super, super, super important. So schedule that consultation with me and let's discuss your options. And then the other thing is, most people look at life insurance for the death benefit. That's the first and the main reason is the death benefit. But there's so many other options. And again, because this month I'll be talking about life insurance all month, one of the things I'll talk about some of those ways that you can use life insurance, or that you can think about using life insurance that people don't necessarily think about. I do this when I do life insurance workshops, and I will end the workshop with, 5 or 6 ways that people don't typically think about using life insurance. And it's always oh my God, I never thought of that. Oh my God, I never thought of that, right? So being able to have a conversation with somebody who can look at your situation and say, okay, let's protect this way. Let's protect this way, right? From key man insurance, if it's, you and a partner who own a business, or you and a couple partners own a business, what happens? So again, I'll be talking about all of that type of stuff all month. But schedule your consultation with me. The link is in the bio. And again, the trouble is you think you have time. We do not. It's imperative. Do me a favor though, sometime today, make sure that you pull out the policies that you have. Make sure you have more than one beneficiary. Make sure that the beneficiary that you have is still alive. I've seen that happen. Someone died, their mother was their beneficiary, but the mother died a year prior. So when the rest of the family needed to bury this young adult, they couldn't get at the money because the beneficiary was already deceased. So when they needed the money the most, they couldn't get at it because it now had to go to it became part of the estate, which then had to go to probate. So again, just pull out your policies, make sure that you have more than one beneficiary. They don't have to be both primary, but who's that secondary beneficiary if something happens to that primary? Again, the trouble is we all think, oh no, I don't need it. I hear that often when people say, why don't you have insurance? I just always thought that there was time. It's not. But always remember to give yourself some grace. We don't know what we don't know. Part of my job is to help you understand and give you the things that you don't know, right? So that you can think about it, so that you can do something different about it. Keep striving for your next level. You're not in competition with anybody else. This is about your elevation and the elevation of your family. Never, ever, ever give up on you. You are so worth the fight. You are so worth the journey. and invest in you. I promise you, it will pay off. That's the best investment you will ever make, and you will never, ever regret it. Thank you so much for joining me today for another office hours training, and I will see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Be sure to join me for the private online Q&A immediately following. The link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you never miss this opportunity. Thank you again, and I will see you